This is Damien out here in the garage. Uh, want to talk about these rocks here. It's several things I want to talk about these rocks. Um, First of all, this is an example of a small part of a big problem. Uh, the dumbing down of society. So these rocks here, I'm going to show you, are artifacts. You find artifact people, and if there's any of you guys watching this, you might as well turn it off because you ain't going to agree with any of this, or you can learn a lesson, whatever. But they're rocks. I got plenty of arrowheads. You know, most people think American artifacts are thinking projectile points. You know, I got a ton of them. You know, a lot of times these people like say in social media groups and stuff like that, you think people are picking stuff like this up because they're desperate to find an artifact. Well, let me tell you something. There's artifacts everywhere. They're everywhere. And you know, a child could pick out a projectile point. I found them when I was a small kid. I didn't notice this stuff until, you know, 8-10 years ago, something like that. And I was shocked to find out, you know, that when I found this stuff, I got in some Facebook groups, try to figure out what I had, and guys started making fun of me. You know, it didn't take me too long to realize he was like low self-esteem people that think finding arrowheads makes you somebody. You know, they got their little club, whatever, dude. You can have your club. You know, after a while, I started a group of my own to let people post, you know, stuff like this without getting ridiculed. You know, they start that shit on my group, they get kicked out. Got 21,000 members now, but anyway, a lot of people notice this stuff, and it's all over the world. But most of this stuff is from the Ice Age. But you know, a good amount of it is fairly modern. I mean, not really modern, but you know, you can go back and look at stone artifacts from 2 million years ago, and what you might notice, or you might not notice, is that Stone Age man put faces on everything. And that's another thing you get around these arrowhead guys, and they'll say you got pareidolia. You know, you see, I don't see faces in clouds, none of that stuff, okay? But there's faces on these rocks, and there's faces on the projectile points, all of them. I've got plenty. I can show you the faces on them too. You can go back through my videos and look. You can look at your own. It's not a coincidence. They did that. But this stuff here is what I guess most people would call Neolithic stuff. It's mostly ground stone. You know, you get a lot of criticism from these guys saying there's no tool marks, this kind of stuff. Well, there's tool marks on a lot of it. And some of it's been weathered away, some of it's been ground away. But the main thing that tells you this stuff is made by humans is the faces. And, you know, you post something like that and they'll say, those are natural holes. Well, yes, a lot of them are natural holes. I mean, you know, they want to do stuff the easiest way. And, you know, the tools I find play off of the portable rock art. You know, portable rock art, the concept was to take natural features on a rock and embellish them, you know, to kind of, here's a piece of portable rock art. So they took the natural features and they just embellished them to make them look like things. And it's really amazing art, you know, if you're willing to accept it. You know, you see a little face here, profile, you know, face profile. It's not pareidolia. I mean, they did this stuff. And if you look at enough portable rock art, you'll be amazed when you figure out that it is man-made. And they had all the time in the world on their hands, so you know, they were able to be very creative. And people don't understand how they made a lot of this stuff. You know, like this is a fossil. I find these in Central Kentucky, and they're actually about the most amazing portable rock art around here, I think. You know, I mean, they did microscopic stuff on this. I mean, they did, really. You see the faces. And there's whole scenes on here. I mean, the story of man is written on this stuff. I mean, it's everywhere in the world, too. Portable rock art is everywhere. Anywhere Stone Age people were, there's portable rock art. And I really don't think that a modern human could even replicate this stuff, because you really just don't have enough free time on your hands to be able to get this good at anything. I mean, you know, and what's odd is some people don't see it at all. And people that do are like, wow, you know. But I think there's a mental blocker there for the people that don't see it. And see that face there, you know, the lips, the nose, the eye. You know, this stuff's everywhere. And it's amazing. And artifact people are, you know, just missing out on something huge here. And science is too. I mean, you know, archaeologists are well aware of portable rock art. I mean, they know it exists, but they don't really look into it that much. I mean, there's been some people in Europe that did, but nobody in America has really looked into this stuff. And our portable rock art is top shelf. It really is, especially here in Kentucky. I mean, we got some great stuff here. And, you know, as far as portable rock art community in America, everybody knows me, you know, and I'm not special, but I do live in a special place where there's a lot of this stuff. And, you know, I'm just a regular guy, but, you know, I found out I have an eye for this stuff. I don't know why. Some of these people accuse you of being on drugs or some of that stuff. You know, I don't do drugs. You know, this stuff's real. It really is. I mean, you can't see these faces all over everything. I'm not the one that's got the mental problem. It's you. I mean, this shit's here. But anyway, these tools I want to talk about. So this stuff's everywhere. And that's what I was talking about, the dumbing down of society. Like, you know, geniuses like Carl Sagan predicted this, that, you know, we would get so stupid that we couldn't even see reality. And, you know, early settlers in Kentucky, everybody knew. They knew. You can read back on it. The University of Kentucky, Funkhauser and Webb, you know, people studied this stuff. You know, everybody around here knew that there was a lost civilization, is what they called it. You know, nobody could explain who made this stuff, because in a lot of ways, you know, this stuff is more advanced than a lot of things Native Americans were doing. But, you know, this was the Native Americans' ancestors. Just, you know, a lot of people died at the end of the Ice Age. You know, with religious, you know, Noah's flood. Science calls it the Younger Dryas impact, the cosmic impact flooded the world, and it hit North America the most. But, you know, you can come around Kentucky and a lot of other places, you'll see that this place was overpopulated in the Ice Age. And they're, you know, these artifacts are different. I mean, they follow a lot of the same patterns as projectile points and stuff on, you know, closer to our time. But the truth is, most of this stuff is from the Ice Age. They're really old. I mean, like older than people were willing to accept that anybody was even here in America. You know, a scientist can't just say, you know, that an advanced hominid made this stuff that was capable of advanced Neolithics, because they don't have any bones. You know, if you know anything about Denisovan man, they got like 3 bones, but they know that those people were doing some pretty crazy Neolithic stuff way back when. And they, somebody was doing it here too. You see, that's a ground bit on that. That's most of what you find around here are weapons, I think. But they, like I say, they play off the art, and some just have a very vague face profile. But if you look into the surface, you'll see that they even work the fossils in. They work faces and stuff into the fossils. Face. And some faces are just kind of, the more you get into this stuff, the more you find out that in Europe they've identified a lot of these themes and stuff, and it's reoccurring, the stuff that happens over and over. And you see, like, the designs on that rock. I can tell you how they did that, but I'm not going to go into all that right now. But I've been doing this for a while. See those marks? Those aren't natural marks. They're not. And I can't believe that people really think this stuff's natural. I mean, if you look at human face profiles on everything, man, on everything, they're, yeah, a lot of these are natural holes. That's the easy way they did it. Around here, they really like this fossil rock. It's around the limestone. But in other places, I've worked in a lot of places, looked around. They had their favorite stones everywhere they went. A lot of this stuff is limestone. It's been heat tempered, or the stuff around limestone. Face profile. All these pieces got more than one face on them too. Is the thing. If it were one face, you'd be like, oh, okay, maybe it is a coincidence, but there's lots of them. And like, this is a calcite crystal face. Face. If I gotta tell you where the stuff's at, then you probably can't see it. Like I say, some of us can, some of us can't. But now you can see that this tool, that groove there, groove here, that was hafted on a stick. Probably a weapon. I don't know what it was for, but that's pretty damn crazy artwork, man. And it's not the art of nature, because you keep seeing the same stuff over and over. These guys with this big headdresses and stuff. And this right here is a Neolithic tool anywhere you go in the world except America. That's just a little chopping axe. I mean, when people think axe and they think chopping wood, and most of the time what this stuff is more of a weapon axe. It's not really for chopping wood. But you see this limestone, hear that? It's heat tempered. And I could tell you how they did that too, but like I say, it's a long story. I don't really want to go into all that right now. I'm just kind of making a video to sum a lot of this stuff up. But see, you see a lot of Ice Age animals in this stuff, woolly mammoths and stuff like that. But then that is a projectile point. It just is, man. Sorry, I got some flint ones over there too, but that's what this stuff is. Most of it's like a thrusting spear. It's not for throwing or anything like that. But imagine killing these big 5-ton animals. They were slow. You could get right up on them. And these people, they lived really good. A lot of these people, that was a measure of a man. Them was hunting. And I imagine, you got 2 or 3 guys with a thrusting spear like that, stabbing into his side, and you got somebody crawling up his snout, beating on his head with one of these, blunt force objects. This right here is just a big, heavy, you see the face profile on the end. You can see the tool marks on this. This has been pecked out. I mean, It's, see the face? You know, this stuff's real. That's a drilled hole, you know. You see, like I say, the face with the funny head. You know, you see a lot of this stuff in my other videos. You'll keep seeing the same stuff over and over. I usually don't talk in my videos. People like to think, you know, hillbillies are stupid or whatever, so I just play music or whatever and let you do your own thinking. But people, that's the problem, nobody's thinking here. I mean, artifact people will look you in the eye and tell you that that's a natural rock, oddly shaped rock. Dude, it's not. Let's not be stupid. You know, like that, that's probably a digging tool, because you got, see the divots here. You know, they think everything's got to have a groove in it or something. Just, you know, put yourself in their shoes if you can. I mean, there was a lot of stuff going on before they come up with the concept of putting a groove in an axe. They still had axes. They still had tools, you know. And a lot of these were mounted like a sailed axe, you know, just a hole in a piece of wood and this is sticking in it. But I mean, they were doing some crazy stuff. I got good evidence to say that they were probably growing wood over top of rocks as a halving system a lot of times. That's nowhere in the book or anything like that, but I've got good evidence to say that they were doing that. And you know, if you're not still seeing these face profiles and this kind of stuff when I'm pointing them out, then dude, I don't know what to tell you. The shit's here. And I mean, think logically. You know, if this many people were coming on your you know, social media, YouTube, everywhere, saying, hey, what artifacts are you? I got faces on my rocks. Dude, it's not a coincidence that this many people are seeing this stuff. Even if you can't see it, you have to have enough sense to stop and think for a second. Wait a minute, man. Maybe there's something to this, you know. See the two holes in that? Now, this would have been hafted on a stick like that. Them holes are to assist in hafting. That's a weapon, in my opinion. You know, I really don't know what else to say. You know, I think a lot of people deny this stuff just because they don't want to admit that they've been wrong all these years. But you know, we've had a lot of people come to the other artifacts and say that, man, I've been making fun of people for years over this stuff, but now I see it, I get it. Well, yeah, man. I mean, that's great that you do, but like, why were you making fun of people? Why didn't you stop for a second and think, hold it, man, why is this many people thinking this? You know, sometimes you can be educated into stupidity, and somebody that don't know anything about the subject that you think you know everything about can come along and they know more than you because you've been educated in something false. And that's the case with this stuff. That's a projectile point, a face projectile point. You know, these thin rocks, like I say, heat tempered. You know, that's not a fragile rock, dude. And that's thin as paper. You're not going to break that. They've survived the test of time. Why wouldn't they use this stuff? Is the question, you know. I mean, this stuff's abundant and chert is not. And, you know, you see these same things over and over. See that? Okay. You know, there he is again. You know, there he is again. It's just over and over the same stuff, you know. That should be a good indicator right there. But for some people, logic kind of seems to slip by them, I guess, for some reason. And I got some different color rocks out here because this stuff was like from a different place. Just wanted to show that it's not limited to one spot. And I've come to find out that this stuff is literally all over America. A lot of people in our groups, you know, are from a lot of the same places. You see that face? That's an ancient face right there. And that guy lived here. And you're going to see that face on a lot of stuff. That's a hominid, if you ask me. I mean, but that right there, you know, well, what could they have done with something like that? Well, I don't know. Maybe it was hafted on a stick as a weapon, or maybe it was hanging up in a tree on a booby trap, you know, because I did a little video with that actual tool right there, and that sticks in the ground 6 inches deep every time you drop it. Just a big heavy rock that's sharp as shit. And you know, they didn't just use chert, man. I mean, let's think about this for a minute, man. So what they do, just go hungry when they didn't have chert? That's stupid to even think that. You know, they found ways to do things with the stuff that was abundant. And right there is a piece of flint, and you know, that's before the time of flint napping, when they were doing this stuff. See that? And you'll say, oh, that's a creek rock, man. Well, look at that ground bit on it. See that? That's ground on there, man. Like I say, don't be stupid. And to be honest, you know, you don't think this stuff's cool. It's not arrowheads or what. This shit is cooler to me. I got a big old box of points over there. None of them are as cool as this stuff, in my opinion. There's just so much going on in it, you know. You see stuff like this all the time. Like, sometimes there'll be natural colors that they work in and out, and you find out that none of this is random. See, you'll see faces and little features like that too. That's inside of a mouth of another face. There's just like overly did the artwork and the stuff. There's that dude again. See, you know, whatever the hell. I was just showing, you know, face. You just got to look at it for a second and you can see it. I'm not sure what people are missing here, but I think it has a lot to do with the dumbing down of society. I mean, if you can look at this stuff and think it's just rocks, you ain't seeing any of these faces, man, you know, you might want to start doing a little thinking of your own and get your head out of the books, because there it is. Take it or leave it. You know, this stuff is real, and I wouldn't trade anything here for any of your projectile points. I got plenty of them. See this face on top of his head? That's some kind of, you know, pachyderm. Maybe a woolly mammoth, maybe a mastodon, but that's what it is. This is a common theme right here: a trunk over a hole. You'll see that on a lot of stuff where it's, let's just say elephant, but it's not an elephant. Trunk going over a hole, and this is common in other places in the world, and it's common here. That right there it is again. You know, and it's not just random. If you look closely, you'll see fine details of what I'm talking about. See, there's his eye. They did this stuff, man. I don't know how you guys convince yourself that they didn't. I mean, you think these rocks just made themselves look like this? And every damn rock just coincidentally has a face on it. I mean, think about that, man. You know, just think about it a second. You know, don't be stupid. And don't let anybody do your thinking for you. See, all these primitive looking faces. This is the United States of America, man. And a lot of people say, well, we didn't have any primates here. Actually, we might have had the first primate. That's what they found out now, but I don't think a monkey is what they're going for. A lot of this stuff. You see that face? There it is. You know, the one eye thing. That's a really common theme. You can Google that. But I think they were trying to depict themselves in these. You know, people just think, you know, dumb caveman. They weren't dumb. They were humans. And unlike us, they had plenty of free time. You know, they live in groups of 20 or so in a cave. You kill 5-10 ton animals. You got plenty of free time. See there again? Primitive face. But anyway, you know, they live in a damn ice box. They can just sit back for months on one kill. They had plenty of free time to get really creative. And, you know, I don't know why people would even assume that any human beings were dumb. And you get that a lot in these artifact groups too. You know, a lot of these people think that Native Americans were dumb. Dude, they weren't. They were smarter than you and I. They lived a lot easier lifestyle. Face, you know, eye, nose, mouth. Right there it is. There's another face. There's another face. You know, you can keep going, flip it over. Face, face, face. Faces, man. It's not pareidolia. It's reality. The shit is on everything. But that's about all I got. I don't know what else to say. Most people just don't want to admit they're wrong a lot of times. But you're wrong. I mean, this stuff is legit, man. It's for real. And it's all around you, too. You ain't got to be special to find this stuff. Oh, these arrowhead guys like to feel like they're special, you know. Ooh, look at me. You know, artifacts are everywhere. And if you can't tell that this stuff is artifacts, then you might be special. Because you can't put yourself in the mind frame of somebody that made everything out of rocks. They didn't just kick this shit around, dude. You know. And I'll say, like, a rock that's a cool rock to us now. Imagine when the only thing that was around was rocks. And it was a real damn cool rock then, you know. So they took it, they put faces all over it. Just sitting there tinkering around. Belly full of megafauna. But you guys can keep on making fun wherever you want. Our group's still growing. The community, Portable Rock Art community, is still growing. We don't need the media anymore. We are the media with social media, so more people are. Who knows how many people that these artifact people have run off. You know, they come and post stuff and get shamed, and then they throw it away and never look at this stuff again. Lucky for me, I never have been one to just accept what people tell me. You know, as soon as these guys, I've been hunting artifacts for 35 years. That's a natural rock. I argue with them. No, it's not, dude. Are you fucking stupid? Because I'm not gonna let anybody do no thinking for me. I believe my eyes more than what you're gonna tell me. And I see faces. So, anyway, if you can't figure it out, sorry, man, you're missing out. I don't have time to argue with you people anymore. I'd love to argue with some professionals that want to tell me that this shit ain't artifacts. I would look, you know, tell them that you know a hillbilly that wants a public debate with any of these guys. I had this guy on YouTube, archaeologist, say that when he sees my artifacts, his eyes can't unroll themselves. You know, this I'm not gonna say his name, but he looks like a Nickelback singer or something. Long-haired guy. Come on, dude, come out to the creek. Let's do some debating, or we can go to one of my job sites. Cause you know what? These ain't creek rocks. This stuff's in the ground too. In the ground, you know, they get some mineral buildup on them, but you're looking at the same stuff, man. It's right there in the ground too. A little deeper than you guys been digging, but it's right there, dude. It's everywhere around here. Public debate, bring it. Your opportunity to make me look stupid. So let's go. I'm down. There's no way that you can tell me that these fucking rocks are natural.